so last thing I want to do is I want to quickly talk about the potential offensive rookie of the years, offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year, and realistically, who's going to win the popularity contest and have the highest selling jersey at the end of the season. Sean, why don't you start us off on this one? Offensive rookie of the year, defensive rookie of the year, and highest selling jersey.
I'm just going to go basics. Joe Burrow, I think, is going to have a pretty good rookie year in comparison. I don't think the Bengals are going to be great, but I think his numbers will be solid. I think he'll win. I think he'll be rookie of the year offensively, and I think he has a good chance of being the top jersey seller too. Because at the beginning, he's definitely going to sell a lot of jerseys, but I think he'll hold out to the end of the year. And the defensive rookie of the year is probably going to be Young with the Redskins. He just looks filthy. He looked filthy at Ohio State. I think he'll translate well in Ron Rivera's coaching and all that. And I think he'll win Defensive Rookie of the Year.
Okay. No, Young, I mean, those are definitely the safe picks.
That's kind of why I did it.
No, I know. And I can't argue with those because it's like, yes, those are the safe picks. Matt, what about you?
Okay, yeah. As far as just I'm going to get out of the way. As far as the most selling jersey, it's going to be Burrow. That's obvious. I'm not going to – there's no one else who I think is more talked about right now, and people are more excited to see play in the NFL. So as far as the jersey, 100%, it's going to go to Burrow. There's really almost no argument there. And just for conversational purposes, I was thinking Young as well, but I would say C.J. Henderson's got a great chance of being a stud this year. Yeah. I liked him coming into this. I think he's going to look really good. I think I said this a couple times this episode. He's a key asset to Jacksonville right now. So if he looks as good as he does in college on the field this season, it's going to be great. Offensively speaking, it's kind of interesting. If I had to go with anyone right now, this one's a little bit difficult for me to pick one because we saw
a very bad feeling you're going to take mine.
Okay, I think you and I are on the same page. So I'm gonna, I don't know, because I don't know who you're thinking. We have there's a lot. Okay, I'm just gonna say now, it's definitely gonna be our wide receiver. There's a lot of solid wide receivers coming into this. I'm so scared to tell you. I'm thinking possibly Jerry Jeudy.
Oh wow! I was actually gonna go with the other one.
Okay, that's what I figured. That's why I went over. So, yeah.
I appreciate that.
Of course, buddy.
I got to rewrite. I was going to have to rewrite my script.
I got you, dude.
What about you? Greenblatt's dead. Okay.
Hold on real quick. I'm going to throw in I just thought of another one that I kind of wanted to mention. Justin Jefferson in Minnesota. I feel like Kirk Cousins can throw a lot of passes to him. He might be a sleeper. That's just wanted to throw that in real quick.
Okay. No, I dig it. So if you haven't figured it out yet, my offensive rookie of the year, believe it or not, and the guy that I swear to God, I bet you is going to have the most jersey sales come next December of all rookies is Sedarius CeeDee Lamb from the Dallas Cowboys. First of all, you're now the number one receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. That in and of itself is a pretty big deal. And not just that, but the Cowboys lucked out and got the best receiver in the draft. This guy is a freak. He can go up and get it. He can make the crazy-ass catches, maybe not like Odell, but on almost the same level as Odell. I compare him to a Julio Jones type. And once again, I can't stress this enough. He plays for the Dallas freaking Cowboys. There's a reason that in the top 10 of jerseys sold right now, Dak Prescott and Ezekiel Elliott are in there. Dak Prescott is not the best quarterback in the NFL, even close. And in my opinion, Derrick Henry, Saquon Barkley, and Christian McCaffrey are better running backs. And Alvin Kamara are better running backs than Ezekiel Elliott. But they're there for a reason because they're Dallas Cowboys. CeeDee Lamb, dude, I can't, words can't express how far my jaw dropped when Dallas actually got CeeDee Lamb. And I didn't even think they would pick him because just like everyone else, I'm thinking, okay, safety, corner, they need defensive help. Or they go get the best receiver in the draft. Move Amari Cooper in number 2, Michael Gallup number 3, and now you have the best offense in football. Just saying. Defensively, I'm going to go with a little bit of a sleeper here. And that's actually going to be Kenneth Murray, the linebacker from Oklahoma for the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, I realistically could have gone with any of the, I almost said big 3 linebackers, but realistically big 4 linebackers in here. And while I think Isaiah Simmons is going to be really good with Arizona doesn't have great luck with defensive players. The Chargers do. There's one more linebacker who I think is going to have a great career, but I'm potentially saving that for Andrew. And if he doesn't use it, I'll come back, but I'm going to cut that out anyway. Kenneth Murray is a freak athlete from Oklahoma. You don't see a lot of guys from that conference get drafted in terms of linebackers and defensive players, but when they do, they're usually pretty good. I like Kenneth Murray. I love this pick for the Chargers, and he's my defensive rookie of the year pick, sleeper pick, because I think Chase Young still probably has a better chance, but I like Kenneth Murray. Andrew, to you.
I think just like what Matt said, I mean, regardless of how he plays, which I personally don't think he's going to have a great season, especially just with the what you expect from number 1, but it's going to be Joe Burrow for jersey sales. Offensively, I actually think it's going to be Justin Herbert. I mean, you see the situation he's going into. He has Austin Eckler, Keenan Allen, the best. I mean, I think he's the best receiver in the league, personally. I know others.
Interesting.
Whatever. Anyway, and then Mike Williams. I mean,
yeah,
none of the rookie QBs have better weapons than that. I mean, that's unbelievable offense. So I think he's going to, whether they win games, I don't know. He's going to put up numbers.
He is. My only thought is I don't know that Herbert's going to play this year. I think
they just go with Tyrod?
I think the Chargers are going to do the same thing we talked about with Tua. And I think they're going to let Tyrod play this out, let Herbert learn behind Tyrod. And granted, well, Tyrod's smaller and runs a little bit more. Herbert can move, and I think they let him learn a little bit, at least a little. Because you think about Tyrod Taylor, he's a grown-up. Just like Ryan Fitzpatrick, this is a guy you want to be around your young quarterback. And he's not – Tyrod Taylor knows he's not the franchise quarterback. He knows Justin Herbert's a franchise quarterback. And I think he's enough of an adult, unlike Aaron Rodgers, to act accordingly. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I do agree that if Justin Herbert plays, I think he has the best going for him right now.
And it could, even if they do that with Tyrod, it could be another Brown situation where, I don't know.
Justin Herbert just beats him out.
Yeah, 4 or 5 weeks in, it's like, all right, we realize, Tyrod, you're a bum. On defense, as you were saying, I think, one, it's probably going to be Chase Young. But as kind of we're all just almost saying sleepers, Ray Lewis Jr., Patrick Queen. I mean,
I was going to say, don't let the Ravens hat fool you.
Yeah. As the MVP of the league said, Ray Lewis Jr., I mean, the number 1 need that we needed was an inside linebacker. I mean, we gave up 4.5 yards a rush last season. The most.
Yeah, you were really missing C.J. Mosley.
Yeah, the most yards they've given up since '96 when the team was created. So to get him, I mean, he's gonna be a monster there.
Yeah,
and
that was my next pick. I think he's gonna have a very good career. Obviously, a championship type player, played for the LSU Tigers. I think he's gonna do very good.
And I mean, we've gone from we had C.J. Mosley, and then last year was Patrick Owusu, and he left as well. So it was every mock draft had him going to the Ravens, and it was
either him or Kenneth Murray.
Yeah, whoever, any other team, the Chargers didn't take him.
Yeah, more or less. All right, so last thing I want to talk about, because I'm pretty sure we're at like an hour and 15 at this point. Last thing I do want to talk about is fantasy value. Who do you think of the rookies this year, obviously offensively, are going to put up the most fantasy points? I am going to start this off, and I'm going to pick the obvious choice because I think if I think CeeDee Lamb's going to win Rookie of the Year, it probably means he's going to put up some really good fantasy numbers. And my bet is going to be CeeDee Lamb's going to be one of the better fantasy wide receivers this year. Hint, hint for when we do our draft in a couple months, if we even do our draft in a couple months.
We live stream that one?
Huh?
Do you want to do a video conference for that one too?
Oh, definitely.
That'd be
big
fun.
time. That'll be fun. Yeah, like I said, big CeeDee Lamb fan. I think he's going to put up some great numbers for the Dallas Cowboys and potentially lead to him winning Offensive Rookie of the Year. I can't say enough good things. This kid's a stud. He can go get the football. He's big. He's strong. I've seen comparisons to Julio Jones, and I've seen comparisons to Anquan Bolden, both of which are two of my favorite players of all time, even though Bolden played for the Ravens, who I hate. So, what about you guys? What do you think, Matt?
Yeah, I mean, my first choice obviously was CD as well. It's obvious. There's no one I think who got drafted right away who's going to be as much as an offensive weapon as him. You know, we talked about a lot of these quarterbacks. They're all going to come in. You see Joe Burrow, and he's good. He's not going to be putting up that many points though, and that's not really that's not his fault, but that's his team's fault. He's not going to have the numbers that are going to be a quarterback that you want. He might be a good backup, but it's kind of it's like a Baker Mayfield situation. You don't.
Yeah,
really
you're not
know.
drafting him as your starter, even though Connor drafted Baker Mayfield in the second last year, which was hilarious.
Yeah, and won. Or came in second place.
Came in
So
second.
that's yeah. And then just for not to not be on the same page as you, I think the Jets with Denzel Mims might be a pretty solid.
Interesting.
I think they could really use a wide receiver. They
lost Robbie Anderson.
Yeah, exactly. And he was a really solid player. So the Jets do need someone to throw to now, and I think Denzel might be that guy that they start looking at. So, again, he necessarily wouldn't be my starting wide receiver, but maybe a really solid flex.
Yeah. Another very good receiver for Sam Darnold to overthrow. Greenblatt, what about you?
I honestly think it's going to be CeeDee Lamb as well. I don't really know who else. I mean, Judy possibly, but it's up in the air right now.
The thing with Jerry Jeudy to me is Jerry Jeudy, I think, will have more catches than CeeDee Lamb does, but I think CeeDee Lamb's going to have bigger catches. Jerry Judy's going to have a lot.
Well.
Exactly. Jerry Jeudy, I think, is going to have a lot more value in a PPR league, which we just happen to do a PPR league right here. But the thing is, Denver's first weapon is still going to be Cortland Sutton. And I had Cortland Sutton on my team last year, and he was very good to me. So, you know what I mean?
Dropped him.
Huh?
Dropped him early on. That's why you had him.
Yeah, well, there you go.
I was panicking because I had everybody on my team was getting hurt, and I needed to replace people.
There you go. And the funny thing is, traditionally when you look at fantasy value, you look at running backs, but I look at the running backs this year, and they're all kind of backups, even on their own teams. DeAndre Swift got drafted by the Lions. They have Kerryon Johnson. Jonathan Taylor got drafted by the Colts, who already have Marlon Mack. You know what I mean? The best running backs this year, J.K. Dobbins gets drafted by the Ravens. They have Mark Ingram and Lamar Jackson. So I don't really see a great stud fantasy running back come out of this class. When Saquon Barkley came out 2 years ago, Saquon Barkley was the third or fourth pick in everyone's fantasy draft. Same thing with Zeke. When he came out, Zeke was like the best player in fantasy football. And we knew that was going to happen. This year, looking at the running backs, I don't get that feeling. Sean, you want to try again? Nope. Okay. We will deal with that accordingly. Andrew, what are your thoughts? Fantasy sleepers or fantasy rookie studs?
I'm going to say this for the running back, and I don't know on how the coaching tree there is going to deal with it, but I think in Kansas City, just because of obviously who they have at quarterback, but yeah. I don't know about Damian Williams if he's really the franchise running back, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire, catching and rushing could have a lot of points. And truth be told, I think either CeeDee Lamb or Ruggs will have the most points, but just have a different opinion. I think Edwards-Helaire could be a very good flex play this season.
First of all, off topic, did you guys actually hear that Patrick Mahomes specifically asked for a running back and hinted at Clyde Edwards-Helaire?
Really?
I thought that was pretty funny.
Huh.
I thought that was pretty funny because Belichick would never let Brady do that.
No way.
And I agree. I think Edwards-Helaire probably has the best chance, but the same thing, he's on a team with Damian Williams. And
Yeah.
Damian Williams, at least from the Super Bowl, and what I saw from him in the playoffs, I think he's a pretty good player. Now, granted, he was undrafted from the Oklahoma Sooners, and the Sooners have a great line of running backs, including Adrian Peterson and DeMarco Murray. But at the same time, you know
And
what
it's
I
kind of
mean?
like it's kind of like last year they had LaShawn McCoy as well. I mean, they always use two backs and kind of have. I mean, he could just be almost a fourth, fifth receiver, but
Yeah,
just
he
a
really
shot in
can.
the dark.
So